You can make anything flat or curved or wavy on Earth. That's why the definitive proof of the flat or the level or the biblical Earth has always been.
There's another final experiment, and this time the plan is to debunk the globe. What is this final experiment? Well, digging a 12-inch deep trench just 1 mile long. Have these people got absolutely no clue how curvature actually works? Let's find out.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
For those that haven't figured out Jaron's fanboys or whatever, that haven't figured out his Home Depot argument, you can make anything flat or curved or wavy on Earth. That's why the definitive proof of the flat or the level or the biblical Earth has always been the water. You can't build Home Depots on water, Jaron. That's why the testing has to be done with water. That's why you have constantly avoided it for 10 years, even though many of us have shouted it at you so many times we're blue in the face.
But the issue isn't whether or not you can build a Home Depot on water, it's whether you understand how water behaves on a planet-sized object under gravity. This isn't avoiding you shouting it for 10 years, Dan. It's just that the scientific community isn't in the business of debating profound stupidity. We've got centuries of observations and physics that already cover this without needing to check if a big box store can float. What are you on about?
So quit strawmanning people. Your Home Depot argument is a joke.
Ugh, I hate it when this happens. I gotta go and do some actual work now and find this bloody Home Depot argument.
A few moments later.
I got it!
Well, let's say that we had a Home Depot, we placed a Home Depot on that ball, and we know that everywhere in the Home Depot is flat. Just kind of picture a Home Depot, we know it's all level. If we put a level anywhere on that Home Depot floor, it's going to show level. So now let's picture that the entire world is nothing but a Home Depot, right? So it's a ball earth, but it's a Home Depot. Well, everywhere on that Home Depot will be flat, okay? So there is no place, you would not be able to take a spirit level anywhere in the Home Depot, place it down and say, nope, look, now it's showing curve. Yet, I just said that we are on a curved earth, we're on a ball, that's just a gigantic Home Depot.
Yeah, clear as mud. I think, and I use that term very loosely, but I think he's saying that even if the Earth were a ball, like a giant Home Depot, which isn't a ball, so I still don't actually get it, but a spirit level would always show flat. Therefore, measuring level locally doesn't prove anything about global curvature. Is that what it sounds like to you as well? Let me know in the comments below, because I can't see Mr. Pratt being much help.
I can make Home Depots look like a camel hump on Earth with enough equipment and money. Doesn't prove anything about the flat Earth.
Dan, you're even more confusing than usual. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I don't think Jaron's Home Depot argument is trying to prove that the Earth is a globe, because we don't need to. I think this is from when he was still a flat earther. So, what's your problem with it? What?
So shut up about Home Depot, you clown.
Hang on a second, you were the one that brought it up, but okay, let's talk about some other kind of stupid then.
Now, my take is, if you are still talking about who's a shill, who's not a shill, anyone not saying, look, American people, there are tens of millions of people that may not think the Earth is flat, but know that NASA is full of it.
Well, of course we're gonna get the classic shill accusation. It's a Dan Pratt video. Because if you're not peddling the flat earth brand of truth, you're clearly on the payroll. And look, I get it. You don't have to be a flat earther to think that NASA's a little bit dodgy. There's lots of people who think like that for some reason. I have no idea why, but they do. But here's the thing. Believing NASA is full of it doesn't magically flatten the Earth, make rockets stop working, or conjure up hidden ice walls. Now, my quest isn't about defending NASA, it's about dissecting the stupidity of unsubstantiated claims like the Earth being flat. Whether you think somebody is a shill or not, it doesn't matter. The fact is, unfortunately for flat earthers, science doesn't support Home Depot analogies or a flat planet.
Yet NASA has received and continues to receive, adding on to the trillions they have got through government funding, much less merchandising and other things.
Do you know what you sound like, Dan? It sounds to me like you think they should be giving the money to you instead for your very important flat earth research. You sound like a jealous child. But NASA's total budget over more than 60 years of existence adjusts to around $1 trillion. Not trillions as in multiples or endless sums just floating around, and certainly not some bottomless pit. Their annual budget, we're talking about $25 billion a year on average, which, fun fact, is only about 0.4% of the entire US federal budget. So really, it's a measly fraction, not some colossal conspiracy fund.
To do a proper, permanent water test, finally, and I would suggest presenting it as not a flat earth proof, but a globe proof.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Because you're an idiot. Now, even if asking NASA to do a water experiment isn't stupid enough on its own, asking them to do it while claiming the Earth's shape hasn't already been observed and proven through countless methods involving water. Ships over the horizon, tidal forces, the curvature of the oceans themselves. This isn't some finally moment, Dan. It's a desperate attempt to invent a problem where none exists, showing that you have absolutely no clue what scientific proof actually entails.
Science. What is it all about?
No, I have no clue.
We don't need NASA to prove what's already self-evident, Dan.
Stop telling us to trust the science and just allow us to observe it and verify it for ourselves. That indeed gravity does make water curve at 8 inches per mile squared or 6.66 inches over a mile. Whatever you want to agree upon before you construct it.
We do allow you to observe it and verify it. It's called looking at a ship disappearing hull first over the horizon. And this obsession with 8 inches per mile squared or 6.66 inches over a mile, and the idea that gravity makes water curve in a way that's visually obvious over such tiny distances, that's just no clue how immense scales work or how basic physics translates to the real world. You're demanding to see something that's only perceptible at vastly larger scales, then claiming it doesn't exist when your microscopic test doesn't show it. But I can show you this and ask you a question, Dan, so pay attention. See this picture? The one on the screen now? What's going on here then? Now, this is a photograph of Toronto taken across Lake Ontario from Niagara-on-the-Lake. What happened to the bases of the buildings then, Mr. Pratt? What could possibly be blocking them from view?
What would this entail? Again, a 12-inch deep canal of water constructed over 1 mile.
So you believe observing this 1 mile long, 12-inch deep trench would disprove the Earth's shape, specifically hoping to show that the water remains perfectly level, contradicting the globe's predicted curvature over that distance. So you actually think that 1 mile, which is 0.004015% of the Earth's circumference, is going to show you that the Earth is flat? I mean, good luck.
The beauty of it is, the only things that have to be at a determined height that you could measure at each point and verify it is that distance from the ground are the ends and the center.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that when you're trying to prove the shape of an entire planet, 3 arbitrarily measured points on a potentially uneven, curved surface, well, that's the new standard for scientific precision. Dan, all this stuff has been done, and every time it is done, it just proves flat earthers wrong. So I fail to see exactly what you think this groundbreaking TFE2 is going to achieve for flat earth. I mean, if you want to show us how wrong flat earthers are, I guess it would do the trick. But as far as accurately measuring the shape of the earth, then not so much. Keep digging, Dan, because your 12-inch deep, 1-mile-long trench just isn't going to cut it.
Is just fine. The ocean floor is not perfectly flat at the bottom.
No, we know it kind of conforms to the shape of the planet it's on.
It's the top we're concerned about, where the argument is both sides agree it's level. It's just flat earthers know
Nothing.
that it is flat and level on the surface of water, always on large bodies of water at rest.
Then come back to me once you've figured out what's hiding Toronto.
Because that's all they've got. Because if they were, sing along with me, anybody that's been on my channel for years, they don't do this water test because they can't.
That's wrong. Nobody does it because it's really stupid, Dan.
And even more beautiful for us and damning for them is they can't fake it.
Then it's probably just as well we don't need to. There are people right now up there in the ISS looking down at the Earth and seeing that it's a globe. It doesn't get much more cut and dry than that.
So my suggestion is those still in the flat earth realm going to all these channels, start explaining this to people. You don't got to show them my video, you can explain it to them. That we need to start demanding that NASA provide a scientific method-based globe proof that is like a monument.
Well, it's your lucky day then, Mr. Pratt, because NASA did exactly that in the early 70s when they provided us with this image of Earth. It doesn't look flat to me.
Wherein people can go and visibly verify and observe gravity in action themselves.
Ah, right. Now I can see exactly what you're getting at. So you are never going to accept that the Earth is a globe until you personally can get high enough to see it for yourself.
Period. End of story.
And in a sense, Dan, now let's imagine that in some crazy alternative universe, NASA did agree to prove to flat earthers that the Earth is a globe. What would be the point? You've already all made it perfectly clear that you don't believe anything NASA says or publishes. You won't accept any of the pictures they've taken of the Earth from space as evidence that the Earth is indeed a globe. So why would it suddenly be different now?
But they've got everybody talking about their ridiculous anything but final experiment instead of demanding an actual final experiment.
I don't think NASA had anything to do with Will Duffy's final experiment, Dan. It was a privately run trip. Will footed the bill. Just because flat earthers don't like the results of the final experiment, because whether you choose to accept it or not, it was pretty final. I would even go as far as to say it was the final nail in the flat earth coffin. So your final experiment, that's going to be so much better because you think it's going to prove that the Earth is flat. So, crack on.
Why don't you start asking your globe-defending audience to start demanding a scientific method-based proof, water-based proof, verifiable, observable proof of your globe? You know it's a globe. You saw the sun. You've seen the light, Jaron. So, start demanding NASA prove it.
How about no?
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you again on Monday. Unless, of course, you're joining me at 6 p.m. on Sunday evening for episode 22 of the Creaky Blinder Show Live. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Out of everything that's on the internet, This is the best thing.
So I went for a little stroll this morning, get my steps in. I'm getting old. And I walked past my local cemetery. It's just round the corner from the house. And there was a guy crouching down behind the gravestone. So I went over and said, morning. And he said, no, I'm having a shit, actually.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.